69 weeks, and we're going to start talking about the 70th week, or the 70th week right now, which is a 7-year span. We have PowerPoint or no? Alright, so we're going to be talking about why the future is important. We're going to be looking at specifically the book of Revelation right now. We're going to kind of get dirty. Actually, we're not going too deep into it. We're going to look at some main points, kind of cover the overall aspect of it. We're going to look at some different ideas, viewpoints, and what different people believe. The first thing I kind of want to talk about is, first of all, we don't know when this is going to begin, when the last 7-week period is, and we don't know when Christ's second coming is coming back. I just kind of want to make that clear that I don't have the answer. I don't think anyone in this room has the answer. Well, I kind of want to ask, what if we did know? What if you knew when Christ was coming back? You knew the exact date, and you knew the exact hour. What would your reaction be to this? 1 Thessalonians 5, 1-12. Now, brothers, about times and dates we do not need to write to you, for you know very well that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. We don't know. But what if you did? How would that change your life? I would imagine it would. We're going to watch a quick video. I saw this when I was in seminary. My initial reaction was laughing, and we'll kind of hold that for you.
Going to be a tough Saturday, according to one religious group in the US. By the calculations of Family Radio, today is Judgment Day and the end of the world. RT's Kenny Ford followed them on their mission to spread the doomsday prophecy.
Have you heard of the awesome news?
Watch. Watch for what?
The world is ending.
Death, destruction, that's all you can see.
9 months ago, Eddie and Jessica Ramos hit the road to tell people just that.
Me and my wife agreed that this was the best way to do what we are supposed to do according to what the Bible is telling us to do, to warn the people.
Their 3 daughters travel with them.
I homeschooled at one point. They were in school for a little bit, and then now that it's towards the end, we decided to pull them out and keep them with us as much as possible.
Jessica and Eddie aren't alone. Theirs is just one of 4 caravans roaming the country preaching the apocalypse. They believe the world is ending May 21st and that it's their duty to warn the people. Harold Camping, the 89-year-old founder of Family Radio, used a series of biblical calculations to arrive at May 21st, 2011. Camping did predict the end once before, in September 1994. Camping's prediction has since been branded on buses, billboards, t-shirts.
This is the greatest and the biggest advertising campaign in the world. There's never been anything like this before, since God created this world. The Bible promised that everybody, all nations, will get this message before May 21st, 2011.
And everything in between, including Gary Vollmer's SUV, which he drives every day to his job at the Department of Homeland Security.
This is a vehicle I had wrapped. It was about 2 years ago. I actually had the work done on it, and it's pronouncing the Lord's work of Judgment Day. We actually have a depiction here. This is actually a depiction of the California plate actually sinking into the ocean. This is actually a depiction of fire, and it's talking about how the Lord is going to bring down fire and brimstone upon the earth in the day of destruction.
According to Camping, the day of destruction will begin with a giant rolling earthquake at the international date line and travel around the world, killing millions.
But before that happens, all the true believers will be caught up to be with Christ, and they won't experience what's going to happen here for 5 months. Death, sorrow, suffering, and pain.
Meanwhile, those who know they'll be left behind, like these atheists, are already making plans of their own, offering to buy on Craigslist raptured people's possessions and dog sit for those called up to heaven. The listeners of Family Radio say it's impossible the world won't end, but for now, we'll have to see what tomorrow brings. Kaylin Ford, RT, Washington, D.C.
So, we kind of watch this video, and we go, are you kidding me right now? That's pretty crazy. I mean, people just pull their kids out of school because they think the world's going to end May 21st, 2011, which we obviously know it didn't end because it's 2012 now. So there was all this hype. Did anyone remember the billboards? They had built, I don't know if they had any around here, but they had some in Chicago. They spent all these millions of dollars trying to proclaim that the world was going to end May 21st, 2011. And we're sitting there in class and we're laughing. We're like, oh, why would you do this? But then you ask, what if it was true? Obviously, I didn't hold that standard. But what if the world was ending? Why? What was I doing? If the world was going to end May 21st, 2011. It's funny to laugh at them, but then we look at my life, and I take the standpoint that the world is going to come to an end and the tribulation is going to happen, and I ask myself, what am I doing? These people pulled their kids out of school because they had such great faith. I'm not like saying that that's what we should do, but just looking at what they actually believed in, they threw themselves into it. It's just kind of amazing to me after kind of watching it. So we're going to kind of look at, first of all, we're going to look at the rapture. So who's ever heard the term rapture before? Do you have the slides? So the idea of the rapture is in the Bible, but the term is not used. So a lot of people like to come up to you and go, the word rapture is not in the Bible, but it actually is a Latin word to mean caught up. And it's actually in 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 17. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet call of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up, that's the rapture word, together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. That's kind of why I make a distinction here first. This passage is not talking about the second coming of Christ. The second coming of Christ is told specifically in other places within the Bible. This is talking about taking the chosen people, or the elect, or the saved, out of the world before the tribulation, or depending on your viewpoint, which I'll get to. I want to talk about Thessalonica before. It was a city. Whenever, this kind of just a Bible side note, whenever you guys read a letter, especially a Pauline or John or a Peter letter, you always have to think in your mind that he's making a response to something. There's a reason why he wrote this letter. And one of the reasons why Paul wrote to Thessalonians was because they had all this question and they had all these, they heard all these rumors that Jesus already came back. And Paul's kind of making a clear statement, no, he didn't come back, that this is what's going to happen, this is a signs that you need to look forward to. I just kind of think of Thessalonica as like today, that we get all these bombarding, all this media and all these different voices telling us what to do and what's going to happen and what to believe, just about the world or about what we should be doing. And then sometimes we skip over and we forget about the Word, and we forget to look to the Word and see what it says.